They say the truth always comes out, but in the Brown family, truth has a strange way of hiding behind smiles and carefully edited confessionals. Okay, when Robyn Brown announced her pregnancy on Sister Wives, fans celebrated until the timelines stopped adding up. Birth dates, wedding papers, emotional interviews, something just didn't fit. And for years, whispers online have asked one repeated question. Was there more to Robyn's pregnancy story than TLC ever showed? Yet, tonight, we trace every clue, from when she joined the family to the exact dates of Solomon S. and Ariella's births, to see whether this so-called secret baby theory has any backing. Or if it is just another rumor spun by the internet's obsession with the Browns. Because even the
I
calendar
think it's
seems to
time we
tell a
had a
different
talk
story
about some
in this
things that have
family.
been on my mind.
Ank bold retention line. What if the most talked about pregnancy in the Sister Wives universe was never what it seemed? Ank, before we begin, tell me in the comments, do you think the edits on TLC hide more than they reveal? Or do you think fans are just reading between the wrong lines? Okay, the faint hum of TLC's editing suite fills the background, monitors flickering with old footage, producers whispering to each other about which moment will make the final cut. On screen, a younger Robyn Brown wipes her eyes and says softly, "I didn't think this would ever happen." The words are tender, but the air in the room feels heavier than it should. It's Artsen Ling Isher E, and cameras capture Sister Wives season. Senen, the family throws a party. But between laughter and hugs, an eagle-eyed viewer pays close attention to a few details that just don't quite line up. A date on a hospital wristband, a mismatch in Robyn's hairstyle from one scene to the next, and a suspicious gap in filming that lasts nearly 3 months. Okay, that's where our story begins, not with gossip, but with a timeline, because when you trace dates, you trace truth. Sometimes, the smallest frame in an episode can hide the biggest secret. As the camera cuts to Flagstaff years later, a calmer Robyn sits in her living room, surrounded by toys and baby pictures. She recalls with smiles the births of Solomon and Ariella, but her eyes flicker when asked about the gaps between them. The interviewer stops, the silence stretches. Back then, TLC touted her, Arsenling Isher pregnancy as a miracle, a symbol of unity. But fans, armed with Reddit threads and archived screenshots, began doing what producers never expected, fact-checking the family's own reality. And then, as timelines started coming online, they realized that the calendar didn't tell just one story. It actually told two. What happens when a show built on faith and family collides with the math of reality? Kinked. With every pregnancy announcement came waves of emotion across the seasons, but with Robyn's came something different: mystery. The missing footage, the carefully worded interviews, the sudden change in narrative tone. Even Christine once hinted, in a behind-the-scenes clip, that timing was always tricky back then. It was a throwaway line, but fans replayed it 100 times and turned it into digital evidence. By Artsenling E. Sherliop. When Ariella was born, the rumors had matured into full-fledged theories that TLC had hidden a miscarriage to protect Robyn's privacy, or that the family rewrote history to fit a cleaner timeline. No one could prove it, but no one could disprove it either. It was that gray area between truth and editing that was a perfect breeding ground for the secret baby theory. Okay, now put yourself back into that editing suite. The same humming computers, the same blurred cuts, the same producer asking, "Do we show this part?" Somewhere between the deleted scenes and broadcast footage lies the first real clue. Because every rumor has a birthplace, and this one begins with one missing month in, Artsenlingi Shir, and that missing month is where everything changes. The second that screenshot surfaced, it went viral. A grainy freeze frame from Sister Wives, see Kodo. A grainy freeze frame from Sister Wives, Robyn's birth special, showed something no one was supposed to notice. A whiteboard behind the hospital bed, barely in focus. On it, scribbled in blue marker, October, Shui, Artinlingi Shui, to the casual viewer, it meant nothing. To the people who'd studied every timeline, that was the missing puzzle piece, proof that the announcement episode aired after the birth had already taken place. Sometimes, one blurry date rewrites an entire family story. Within hours, fan pages erupted. Some accused TLC of concocting a fake pregnancy timeline. Others defended Robyn, saying the network recreated moments to make the story flow. But what really shocked them wasn't the date, it was the silence. Robyn didn't respond, neither did Cody. Kenk. For a family that preached transparency, the quiet felt deafening. Online, the sentiment in forums flipped from curiosity to betrayal. Longtime fans, who had followed the Browns since Utah, questioned it all now. The faith, the marriages, the tears on screen. Yeah. Could those moments still be trusted if the foundation had been edited? That's when Christine posted something unexpected. It wasn't denial, but it wasn't confirmation either. There was just a strange Instagram caption under an old family photo. Some memories hurt more when you realize they weren't yours to begin with. Cack. The internet went into meltdown. When emotions blur with editing, the truth becomes a moving target. Yep, Murray, ever the careful one, said in a live stream that reality TV tells a version of real life, not all of it. Janelle nodded quietly beside her, eyes downcast. Viewers froze that moment, reading meaning into every glance. Kenk, in the court of public opinion, the verdict was already forming. If there was a lie, it wasn't just about a date, it was about trust, or cake. Even the defenders of Robyn grew uneasy. She had always been the emotional heart of the family, the one who cried easily, who spoke of love and divine, but that same emotion now looked rehearsed to some, as though she'd been carrying not just a child, but a secret. Behind closed doors, sources close to the Browns say the producers warned them to let the storm pass. The ratings were spiking, controversy had become currency. Every viral theory meant more eyes on the next episode. Can't? The truth wasn't hidden, it was monetized. Weeks later, a new promo dropped. Robyn opens up about the pain fans never knew. The teaser showed her breaking down mid-interview, saying only, "I wish people understood what really happened." Hey, but TLC cut to commercial before she could finish her sentence, leaving millions hanging in emotional suspension. Kanked. And that's when the Sister Wives fandom divided into two. Those who believed Robyn's tears were real, and those who believed they were scripted. Because somewhere between those tears and that whiteboard, the entire meaning of Sister Wives changed forever. Okay? Weeks you enda the che si tasher, you en tatter, weeks I care. After the whiteboard photo went viral, a new leak surfaced, this time, though not from fans, but from inside TLC itself. An anonymous production assistant posted a blurred image of what looked like an internal memo. Across the top, it read, "Episode Resequencing, Brown Family Pregnancy Arc." Nobody knew if it was real or not. It did look official enough to cause chaos. Keck, the memo listed scenes labeled hospital B-roll use, after announcement, and confessional retake required. Suddenly, the rumor of backward filmed pregnancy scenes didn't sound far-fetched anymore. Kink, when evidence comes from within, denial ceases to feel like an option. TLC issued a brief statement calling it standard post-production procedure, but in the age of screenshots, that explanation only fueled more suspicion. Why did a reality show need to recreate reality? People in Facebook fan groups dissected the memo like forensic scientists. The line that made hearts race was, "Note, remove unverified scene from season, San archive." That one sentence brought on a new question: what was deleted? The missing episode became legend, an installment filmed in early Arsène Ling E. Sure E. that never aired, rumored to show Robyn visiting the doctor twice in 1 month. Keka. Each deleted scene is a place where imagination thrives. UK? A few insiders said that the footage had been pulled after an emotional breakdown on set. Robyn reportedly cried over bad news. TLC allegedly reframed it later as a routine checkup. None of it could be proven, but the pieces lined up too neatly for fans to ignore. But then, something unexpected. Former crew member Jay, one of the original sound techs, commented under a YouTube recap video, "All I'll say is, the timeline confusion wasn't an accident. The comment was gone in a matter of hours. That deletion became the proof fans needed." King. By now, the emotional tone around the Brown family had completely changed. Supporters became investigators. Every new episode watched like a crime scene. The once warm narrative of faith and family now felt cold, clinical, and strategic. Sometimes safekeeping a story means losing its soul. Behind the scenes, even the Browns seemed exhausted. In a Arsendling Ishrt confessional, Janelle quietly admitted, "We've given so much, sometimes we forget which parts are still ours. The Sades the Spixie Aspir Ses, Habasteries Trinamint." That line, "Traw unplanned, painfully there." That line, "Traw unplanned, painfully honest," cut through every rumor. For the first time, it wasn't just about Robyn's timeline, it was about how reality television eats its own truth. Okay. As the dust settled, one question echoed louder than ever. If the timeline had been rearranged once, what else had been rewritten? And somewhere, in an archive locked away inside TLC's servers, the answer might still be waiting. King, the storm finally broke on a gray afternoon in Artsenling Urshers. A decade after Solomon's birth, Robyn sat in a new confessional, quieter, older, the weight of years showing in her eyes. The producers didn't ask about the rumor directly, they just asked how she felt watching her old footage. Again, she hesitated. Then, barely above a whisper, she said, "Sometimes you have to live with people believing something that isn't true because proving it would hurt them more than the lie ever could." Kink. No explanation, no denial, just that sometimes silence isn't guilt, it's survival. The comments went wild. Some people saw that as a confession, others as heartbreak. For the first time, viewers felt something unexpected, pity. Maybe Robyn wasn't hiding a secret baby. Maybe she was protecting a broken story held together by producers, contracts, and expectation. K. Her face, especially in later seasons, was telling stories her words never did. Every pause, every tear, felt heavier, like someone living inside an edited version of her life. K. Christine said in a reunion special once, "We all agreed to share our truth, but they never said what happens when our truth changes." That line hit like a verdict, quiet, irreversible. Inc. In reality television, truth isn't what happens, it's what survives the edit. K. As the credits rolled on another season, fans realized the question was never really did Robyn lie? It was, how much of Sister Wives do we actually see? Kink, the whiteboard, the missing month, the leaked memo, they become symbols for something greater, how easily moments can be rearranged until even the people living them start to doubt their own memories. And yet, through it all, a single fact stood firm: Robyn's children are alive, the family continued, and the love, actual or reimagined, keeps them bound on screen. Kink, maybe the real secret isn't in a hidden pregnancy, but in how reality, TV teaches us to question everything we think we know. And Kat, because in the end, the story that shocked millions wasn't the story of a baby. It was about belief. Okay, now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments, you think TLC simply reshaped the timeline for drama, or you believe the Browns have been hiding something deeper from the cameras all along? Tit, tit.